No human concept, mind, words, speech, and intelligence can adequately describe His Holiness Sri 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 Tridandi Srimannarayan Ramanuja Chinnajeeyar Swamiji. Our language is skimpy, our intelligence is impaired, our perceptions are limited, our words are inadequate, our speech is deficient to describe the majesty, the glory, and the aura of His Holiness Swamiji. You ask for strength, you ask for wisdom, you ask for knowledge, for courage, for seva, for peace of mind, for liberation. You ask for His blessings, and He will enlighten your paths. If you miss the essence of His speech, if you fail to practice what is preached, if you fail to open your hearts to be filled, the very purpose of your presence here today is lost. At this time, may I humbly request Honorable Padma Bhushan, His Holiness Sri 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 Tridandi Srimannarayan Ramanuja Chinnajeeyar Swamiji to enlighten our very existence with his serviceable words.
Jai Srimannarayana. Priya Bhagavad Bandho, we are so happy to be with you all today on this 25th of February 2023. You are all celebrating the glories of your work, your dedication, your effort, and your faith to what you believe. That's homeopath. Today, we are remembering the great wisdom of our Dr. Pavuluri Krishna Chaudhary ji, who is not only just a great doctor, but a great humanitarian. As we heard from Dr. Irfan ji, he was an allopathic medical practitioner having a roaring practice of his own in those days in Guntur. But once he got convinced there is something beyond what he already studied, there are many other ways where we can explore greater things. He dedicated his time, his energy to get that knowledge for which he never minds sparing his business, medical business, and went to London, studied in a Royal Medical Hospital, and fully got convinced that he is able to do something with his homeopath. When he returned, he never touched stethoscope and he never touched BP apparatus. People thought he was crazy. Everybody thought he was crazy, but he was able to prove that his way is fair. Just for your information, when this hospital and this college were under construction, before the college, of course, the hospital. When it was almost completed, then some doctors from Yashoda Hospital came here. Dr. Rameshwar Rao invited them to give their suggestions to this hospital so that it can serve better. Those doctors said, "Are you crazy? Why you are making this kind of effort here? So big. Is this size is necessary for a homeo practicing center?" That was the question. And they said, "Swamiji, this is far from the city and no town nearby, and you won't be able to run this at all." But when he saw Dr. Pavluri, he said, "Yeah, Pavluri Garu, if you sit down here, yes, you may be able to run this center." Those were the words. But when the hospital started, in the very first year, this hospital was able to prove that this can serve the community with almost 220 OPD, and crossed that slowly. And of course, then the hospital became the foundation for the college to come here. And when this college is conceived and of course constructed by Dr. Rameshwar Rao Garu, and people thought, why you are spending this much of money on this kind of things? But people realized that their comments were wrong. And they themselves accepted that this is the need of the day. But all this is happened just because of the great inspiration provided by Dr. Pavluri Garu. He was a very great doctor and a great teacher, and also a very wonderful philosopher. There are people whom we see in the world, they believe in something, they deny other things. Dr. Pavluri was not a believer in God. He was not an orthodox person. But he believed in the concepts. He believed in Bhagavad Gita. He understood the preachings of the scriptures. That's how actually we started meeting with him. Otherwise, we don't know Dr. Garu, though we and Dr. Garu probably used to live nearby in Guntur district. When we used to give Gita discourses, every day he used to come in the morning, because we used to speak at 6 o'clock in the morning. Dr. Garu used to come because he got a habit of walking for 1 hour from 6 to 7 every day. He changed his schedule from 6 to 6:15 because we used to speak for 15 minutes every day. But when we met with him for first time, he said, I'm keeping almost 14 types of Bhagavad Gita commentaries, and I am trying to listen to you and just understand the concepts. We realized how deep he is in getting the essence of something, if there is worth. He never listened to Bhagavad Gita because it's a religious scripture or it's a spiritual magazine or spiritual book. He understood the concept of the human body, human mind, human intellect, and the spirit in human body, how they work with each other, how we can bridge the gap between all these four areas. From whichever scripture he found that there is something that makes the bridge strong, he worked on that. He tried to understand that. And he tried to correlate with the knowledge he was possessing. And he found there are so many similarities in Homyo and in Bhagavad Gita. That's where he started studying deep and discussing about it at deeper levels of that. That's how we started meeting with him. And we learned a little from him. Though he taught a lot, but we could grasp only some drops sporadically here and there. But believe, Dr. Gaaru always used to say that this is the need to this country. Homeo is the need to this country, especially which is now developing because of the population, because of the economical status, and because of the openness that we have in this country, and because of our lack of education, Homeo is able to serve better. Not because it is cheaper. We don't want to use the word cheap because the word itself is very cheap. Homeo is very sharp and shrewd. It targets the goal very effectively. That is what doctor taught to us and proved also many a time. He is a person who used to appreciate people, though they are not really able to understand properly, not able to present properly. He used to always appreciate us. Swamiji, you are able to describe very well about the disease. Understanding the feelings of the person, what you call the case study. He used to always appreciate us. And we used to feel proud of that also. My friends, today, for all the students who received certificates, it's a matter of, proud for all of you because you declared as a qualified person today, though you got the knowledge even before. Now we have seen many people, those who are homeopaths, they used to feel always low when there is an MBBS doctor. But we used to request our Dr. Gaaru, let this feel not be there. That happens when you are confident, you are pretty strong with what you have learned. And if you master, then there won't be any kind of feel that, oh, I may not be able to understand properly. We always say there is a rule in shorthand. lesson number 2121 from the shorthand lessons, the Pittsman shorthand lessons are there. If you wish to write at a high rate, because the shorthand is all about writing. When somebody speaks, somebody has to write it. And they put the strokes. And then they again retrieve what they have taken the note, and then they used to type it in those days. Nowadays, of course, it's not the need. We have every gadget to fill that gap. But then they say, if you wish to write at a high rate, you must master the rules so as to follow them fully and be able to apply them on all occasions. This is the best lesson we can remember. Homeo is a very, very powerful medicine because it doesn't work at the very superficial level. It works at our level. We, the spirit. It works at the spirit level. If the spirit works properly, I think all other areas will be set to right. We see that in the world. Even a person, very, very lean, but if his spirits are high, he will be able to command his own respect and will be able to, make his words implemented. Your chief minister is the example for that. The chief minister of Telangana. Spirits should be always high. That's more important. But remember, you are the spirit. You must know yourself. And Homeo is the better one to teach you about this thing. So if you are able to understand your subject properly, digest it, and implement it properly, definitely you will be able to command the respect in the society. Dr. Pauluri Garu is the best example. We always used to call him as the modern Hanuman of the modern day. Once he believed in it, as I said, he never touched thermometer. He never touched BP apparatus, and he never touched stethoscope. It's a kind of faith, one need to have that faith. Is not a small thing. But if you have real faith, definitely it works. Probably we think or we feel proud. We strongly believed in him. Whenever we used to get some kind of problem somewhere, even if we, moving somewhere from far away places, and we used to call him sometimes in the midnights. And he was kind enough to lift the phone. And when we talked to him, 50% of the problem will be cured. We used to come out of the problem. 50%. But the rest of the 50%, of course, he used to give some guidance and we used to follow that. Once we got his guidance, we did not touch allopathic medicines at all. We never liked, because we know how effective the Homeo is. Of course, there are always some pluses and minuses and discounts and merits, but giving the limitations. If you are strong enough with your convictions, with the subjects you have undergone, and if you are able to use them properly, I am sure you will be able to prove yourself how you become a good healer. We suggest all the students who have received the certificates, don't keep it just for the sake of filling up your showcase. Use it. Many students are girls. You will get married. And many students, they get the certificate for the sake of marriage. But don't use it like that. Use it to raise your spirits, because you got this from a very prestigious institute, JIMS, which never compromises with the quality. It never cares other things but quality. And especially when Dr. Rameshwar Rao is involved, he never thinks of number 2. He always thinks only number 1. If you at all get a certificate, you should get first rank, otherwise don't get. If you want to do something, do the best. The best. Don't go for any other thing. That's his policy. And our JIMS is witnessing that for all of us. So we expect all our students who received certificates today, stand for your own homeo. You should become the ambassadors to talk about homeo, to do something with homeo, and to prove that here are easier ways. You need not spend millions and billions to cure a disease. And here is something which really works in improving the immunity or any kind of thing. We offer Mangala Sasanams to all the students who received certificates today. And also our Mangala Sasanams to all the faculties who put all their efforts treating the students as their own children and groomed them to become good doctors. And we expect them as practicing doctors, practicing homeopaths. But we are not contented with that. We expect that they should also go to the level of making some kind of research in that homeo field. But my point for you is, my suggestion, don't look down with any other system. The world is so vast and the systems are so great in their own way, in their own specific areas. Allopathy is of course good in its own way. Homeo is also good in its own way. Ayurvedic is also nice in its own way. So also some other systems like acupuncture, acupressure, naturopathy, whatever just you call other systems, what people call today as alternative systems. Don't give up your own system. Be hooked on to your system, but be open to receive anything whenever there is something good. Be able to learn things from others, whichever they may be. Just for information, we used to have a very good scholar, a good Pandit from Warangal. Probably he was 55-year-old by that time, an asthmatic person. Of course, very, very asthmatic person. And, he was a politician also in Warangal. He was municipal chairman. And his name was, Ramanujacharya. Very, very great Gandhian person. And dress also he used to like that. And used to work for the society. One day, he was suffering from cough. And the houses were typically, just like a railway compartment. 4 rooms will be in a row from the road. That's how they used to construct houses in those days. And he was just lying on the bed in the 3rd room and just coughing, coughing, coughing and coughing. A tribal person was passing by the street and he heard somebody is coughing. He stopped there and asked, "Hey, can I do something for you?" Nobody asked him. He volunteered. Anybody in such a kind of situation, they are always open. They said, "Yes, sir, if you do something, probably, or if you can help us, it'll be great." The person just walked in and then he asked the person, "Hey, are you suffering from cough?" And he said, "Of course." "Okay." And then he started searching his stomach. Somewhere above the navel, he put his thumb and said, "Come on, cough now." And this guy started, tried to cough, but he was not able to. He was just not able to cough anymore. And it was surprising. And then he said, "Can I stop it permanently?" I said, "If you can, yes, sir." And immediately he opened his bag, a small bag he was carrying in his hand. And he picked up a few seeds, dried seeds. He spit on the ground, which was pretty embarrassing to other people. And then he just rubbed it, the seed, and then took the paste and applied there. And that's all it was. And he said, "Be happy." And just he left. He did not take a single pie from him. And the Swami, the Ramanujacharya, sat down and he started feeling okay. But when they searched for the person to pay something, he was not able to. No, he was not found there. He just left the place. I took this, incident to inform you there are good things in the nature. Nature is so great. That's what all your homeo says. You learn from nature. You do with the nature. And you do for nature. You are a part of the nature. Respect the nature. From the nature, somebody picked up something in some process. So each one became a specific system of its own. So if you call it naturopathy, if you call it Ayurvedic or any system, our homeo, they found the power of the atom and they went to that level and brought out the energy of the element. That became your homeo. Similarly, there are systems in the world for everything. So, respect all systems, but worship your own. This is what, if we remember, and we'll be able to do a great service to the nation, to the people, to to the world at large. The very goal of our Dr. Pavluri in naming the institution as JIMS is that Jiyar Integrative Medical Services. This is an integrative system. We follow homeo, but we accept the efficacy of even the other systems in their own areas. So be open to get good things from any corner of the world, because the world always giving good signals from every corner for us. Be able to receive them. Stick on to your system, and whenever you feel the need of them, yes, be able to accept them too. Don't disrespect anything. Sometimes a prayer may heal. Of late, we have systems given by German people that even fasting works very well, right? There are papers presented by those people, fasting, which our people call as upavasa. And even that works a lot. So there are systems. But be able to be with your system and respect the rest of the systems and be a good homeopath. This is what we suggest you all, because you now, some are in Kolkata and some are in your own way practicing or studying the other subjects. It is really a great opportunity for you to discover wonders of the world, comparing them with your homeo. We expect all of you should become good homeopaths. And remember the foundation of yours, JIMS, always here for you to give any kind of support and try to share your experiences wherever you are in the areas when you found some greater things. And JIMS feels happy to share your experience and add something if needed, because you know that the team of faculties that you had here are all experts in their own areas and guided you well to become a good doctor. So they are always here for you to give any kind of guidance or share your experiences for betterment. We bless you all to be good doctors, and we also offer a Mangala Sasanams to all the faculties and supporting staff of JIMS to bring out wonderful doctors and also wonderful research. Dr. Rameshwar Rao's aims is to make it as a research center for homeo. And that was the reason 3 years before he organized an international seminar here where approximately 200 scholars from all over the world participated and appreciated the mission of this JIMS. So you are a product from that. And doctors, we pray to God to make your hands and throat strong so that you can make many more things like this to bring good doctors. We feel proud in one sense. When the JIMS started here, there are very few number of colleges we had in our Telugu state specifically, but JIMS became an inspiration, and now we have probably the number doubled almost, we can say. And people thought, oh, homeo also will be able to do something now. It's a great thing. You should always become an inspiration for others and students, even in your life. Otherwise, we offer a Mangala Sasranams to you all for receiving wonderful certificates and from a very powerful and very strong hand like Dr. Rameshwar Rao. He is a doctor of homeo and he is a pure businessman, entrepreneur. Why I use the word pure, you know? There is no open account and dark account with him. He never goes with the second. He always stands number one. And he is always open, very sincere, and very truthful, and very straightforward with his efforts. So also with his business. He does business also as his worship. That's a great thing with him, like Arjuna. So you received certificates from his hands is not an ordinary thing. That's what I can say. So feel proud always about it and grow well and glow well also. God bless you all. God bless all the faculties and the administrative staff and also the supporting staff of JIMS for providing wonderful facilities for all the students. ఈ కాలేజీలో అందరికీ మంచి వసతులు కల్పించే మన సపోర్టింగ్ హౌస్ కీపింగ్ స్టాఫ్ అందరికీ కూడా మేము అనేక మంగళాశాసనాలు చేస్తున్నాం. మీరందరూ చక్కగా చేసే సేవల వల్ల పిల్లలు బాగా చదువుకుంటున్నారు, డాక్టర్స్ కూడా కుదురుగా ఉండగలుగుతున్నారు. మీ అందరికీ కూడా మేము అనేక మంగళాశాసనాలు చేస్తున్నాం. Especially our Mangala Sasranams to Dr. Rameshwar Rao for a healthy and long life to support many more greater activities like this. Jai Srimanarayan to you all.